I wanted to watch The Terror of Tiny Town purely out of curiosity. I came across this randomly on Letterboxd and did a tiny little bit of research into it and realised that it seems to be a very problematic film. So, of course, I wanted to watch it to see if that was the case. And in general, it's not so much that what happens in it is problematic, it's more the attitude. And the attitude is established very, very early on, and I'll talk about that in a moment. This was released in 1938. It's directed by Sam Newfield. It's written by Clarence Marks, and we have a cast including Billy Curtis, Yvonne Moray, little Billy Rhodes, Billy Platt, and various others. And I'll say, first of all, the performances are fine. The characters are okay. Visually, it's not the worst film. It's not the best, but it's absolutely fine. But the problem is the attitude and the way they set things up. The cast in its entirety, apart from the very beginning, the cast in the entirety is made up of actors with dwarfism. Now, on the one hand, that's great because they're actually creating roles for actors with dwarfism. And that in itself is obviously not a bad thing because those roles, even today, are few and far between. So that's something that, on the one hand, should be applauded. However, it became very clear, very quickly, that for the studio, this was just a giant gimmick. Because at the very start of the film, we are told by an actor who does not have dwarfism. I'm not entirely sure who it is, actually. If anybody knows who's speaking at the start of the film, please feel free to let me know. But he tells us a little bit about the film, and he says that we are, and I quote, not to take it too seriously. How disgusting is that? At the very start of the film, they're telling us, don't take this too seriously. The implication there is that it's a film where all of the actors have dwarfism, which apparently was just something we shouldn't be taking too seriously. They're basically saying, well, because the actors are not of average height, we haven't bothered to craft a narrative that's serious or characters that are well developed. Just enjoy it for the gimmick. I'm putting words in their mouths, but that's certainly the impression that I got. And I thought that was absolutely horrendous. Now, as soon as the actor did say that, one of the characters, in fact, a couple of the characters with dwarfism, came up to him and said, no, you should take it seriously. So they kind of retracted the statement, but the damage had been done. And that just was a really horrendous way to start it, and very much confirmed to me that they did this for the gimmick. That they thought it would just be, and again, I'm putting words in their mouths, but I feel very confident with this, that they did it because they thought it would be funny. And now that's not to say the film itself doesn't have any funny moments or anything, but I don't think that that's what they're implying there when they say don't take it too seriously. I think they were saying, we just wrote a film, put some people with dwarfism in it, go and have a laugh. That's the impression I was getting. And had they not even said that at the beginning, I still would have had that impression. It still definitely came across that way. But to have that confirmed before the film has even begun, absolutely horrendous. The rest of the film is fine. The narrative's not that interesting. I don't think they spent a lot of time crafting this fascinating Western about these townspeople in this so-called tiny town, and there's the villain character, of course, who's come to antagonize people and they have to fight off. And yeah, it's not the most well-crafted narrative. It's not horrendous, but it's fine. The camera work's fine, the lighting's fine, the performances are fine. As a film, every other aspect about it is okay. But they confirmed very early on that this is something they did just for the laughs, and it's not great. Do I recommend it? If you're curious, sure, check it out. Watch that opening and see how you feel, because it was just horrendous. As I said, had they not actually said that, I still would have believed that. I still would have believed that they were not taking it seriously. But having that confirmed was just surprising. I mean, am I surprised it was the 1930s? I guess yes, even to some extent. To come out and say, don't take this seriously, it's even then, I feel like, is a big deal. So, it's not a good film. The film itself is average at best. It's, as I said, I don't think they spent a lot of time writing a solid story. I don't think they... In fact, can I get the budget for this? Is the budget information? The budget was $100,000, which by today's money... So a very, very quick Google search told me that $100,000 in 1938 is equivalent to around about just over $2 million today. I have no idea how accurate that is, but a few search results are suggesting that. So not the smallest budget, but certainly not the biggest either. At the end of the day, it's it's not great. In fact, I've just read something on Wikipedia that makes it even worse. I haven't fact checked this, but I will read this from Wikipedia, and it just adds fuel to the fire. It says, the inspiration came when Buell overheard an employee jokingly say, quote, if this economic dive keeps going, we'll be using midgets as actors, end quote. Now, I have no idea if that's true, or if that is where the inspiration came from, but it wouldn't surprise me. The Terror of Tiny Town on its own is an okay film, but certainly I think it was created for all the wrong reasons. Check it out if you're curious. I certainly won't be watching it again.